How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the first official episode or podcast on this channel of Wastecast Weekly. I'm joined here with JS Mods, or Jack, or whatever you know him as. And we're going to be talking about some E3 stuff today. And there was some things I wanted to talk about in the beginning for the first few minutes, so if you don't want to listen to that, I will have timestamps in the description so you can skip right to the discussion. But I'm just going to be talking about some stuff with you guys about the podcast, and if you really don't care, you can skip my rambling and go to the E3 discussion. But the first thing I wanted to say is that since this is the first podcast on the channel, there really isn't going to be a weekly schedule for this on the start of it, because we're very new to podcasts, and I'm also very new to getting a steady schedule going on my channel, so don't expect one of these every week just because we're just starting off with this. And also, I tried to get links for you guys to download the audio on Google Play and iTunes. I'm gonna tinker with it a little more. But I decided to use SoundCloud to put the audio on so you guys can listen to it on there if you don't want to listen to it on YouTube. It's a lot easier to use, and I had a SoundCloud account set up already. Alright, so we're going to be talking about E3, specifically what we want to see and what we're probably going to expect from the different companies showing up at E3. And since my channels mostly, or our channels, are Bethesda based, we're going to be going to them first and talking about everything we're going to expect and everything we want to see from them. So how about you start it off with what you want to see?
Okay, I'd like to probably see a new Elder Scrolls game or something related to that. Like some sort of like spin-off or something to do with possibly like Elder Scrolls Online or something like that.
Yeah, they might do some Elder Scrolls Online related stuff, but we talked about this before the podcast, and I honestly have to disagree with you on a brand new title in the series. Just because it's a little early for that. I think we are like 4 or 5 years.
A little early. We've gone a good amount of time with.
It definitely has. It's been
out an Elder Scrolls game. Not to mention,
it's been 5.
Oblivion came out 2008, and I believe 2008, and Assassin or shit. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, it's been.
Oh yeah, Skyrim came out 2011. Oblivion came out 2008. And
yeah.
So we've gone way too long without an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah. Skyrim, I think, is 5 years old. But the reason I think it's early is just because Bethesda has so much work on their hands, and Elder Scrolls has really been, or really the new titles in the series in general have really been out of the question because they've got so much more games that they're focusing on at the moment.
Have teams, right?
Yeah, definitely something with Elder Scrolls Online, probably, but nothing with a new Elder Scrolls game. Definitely not Elder Scrolls 6. It's way too early for that. 4 or 5 years down the line, I think we are with Elder Scrolls 6. But I want to actually talk about some stuff that I would expect, or I want. So the two main things that I want are a brand new open world RPG from Bethesda that we've never seen before, and or a Fallout spin-off. It's kind of like the opposite of Jack's. I think there should be a Fallout spin-off. I think it's maybe a bit too early for that, maybe a year too early, but if we're lucky, I think we could get some kind of spin-off in the Fallout series, like New Vegas.
Okay.
Also, we know that the new Colossus, Wolfenstein, and the Evil Within 2 are going to be at Bethesda E3. They are almost, those are pretty much confirmed because Wolfenstein was teased last year at E3, and the Evil Within 2, I'm not sure if that was teased, but people are speculating that there is going to be possibly an Evil Within 2 because Bethesda actually teased 2 new games, I think it was last week, so that got everyone hyped up about 2 new games that they're going to be announcing. And also Starfield, that's another one that's been floating around for quite a while now. It's supposed to be like an open world space RPG going out into outer space. What are your opinions on that, an open world game in outer space?
We've already had those a good couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of bummed out about that. It was kind of cool with No Man's Sky, but I mean,
No Man's Sky
the
sucked.
past I know,
Yeah,
but
it sucked a big.
the past 2 times with Mass Effect Andromeda, which actually nailed it pretty well. That was
Mhm.
actually quite fun to go around in space, but I don't think it'd be very good because the last 2 times they promised, like, hey, we're gonna have a bunch of planets for you to explore, and it's gonna be tons of stuff to do on them, different side quests, and then Mass Effect Andromeda, I only had like a couple planets to go to, and the rest of them were just kind of there to look at and mine for minerals. Like, you couldn't even go on, and they're just kind of there to look at.
Yeah, I picked up Mass Effect Andromeda the day it came out. I think I pre-ordered the game, and GameStop was quite a bit unreliable. I pre-ordered the game like a month in advance. It was probably my fault, but when we went there was actually no digital copies left, so we actually had to buy uh, PlayStation gift cards or whatever you call those things, and we submitted them or redeemed them on the PlayStation, and then I had to buy the game from there. And I thought I was actually going to get like exclusive stuff because I pre-ordered the game, but I figured out that you actually had to pre-order the deluxe versions of the game to get that. So I was wrong about that, but still they should have had a digital copy for me. And about Mass Effect Andromeda, honestly, I haven't been playing the game much. I barely really got through the story. It's not that I didn't like the game. I personally kind of enjoyed the game, but I just never really got far in it. I kind of got distracted by other things, and I never really got far in the game, and I kind of became a little uninterested in it. Like I said, it wasn't a bad game. It's just I didn't really play it that much. I might get back into it further down the line,
Yeah,
but
but I played it, and I beat it, and I found it quite fun, and I was actually really excited for it because I played all the Mass Effect games. In fact, I played all of them over just waiting for the Mass Effect to come out, right?
hmm
So I just kind of replayed them. That was fun. And No Man's Sky, just to get back on track, No Man's Sky, and they offered like, oh, we're gonna have billions of planets you can explore, and there's tons of stuff to do on them, and really you just land on a planet, you mine some minerals, and kind of walk like 2 steps away from your ship, and then you just leave. This space game is the space game is probably not going to work out unless they nail it. Like if they take Mass Effect Andromeda, it's like system and all that, and No Man's Sky's ability to explore different planets, I think it'd be cool because the whole space exploration in both those games was kind of neat, but I mean, it's always kind of been a fantasy of mine to be able to explore space and have your own ship and customize it, and not to mention like even like possibly like pirates, space pirates or something that can, or you can get like holes in your ship, like you
yeah,
have to
if
patch.
they nail a space RPG like in outer space, I think it would do pretty well because it's definitely something new to Bethesda. I don't think they've really done any space related games in the past. And another thing I wanted to talk
Or
about
they
is,
just did actually. They just made Prey, and I think Prey takes place in outer
oh
space.
yeah, they just did Prey. What am I doing? Yeah,
But Prey actually it doesn't have anything. Well, it's not really anything to do with outer space. It's just kind of in outer space, but it really doesn't grasp outer space as some games would. And it'd also be cool to go on spacewalks too. On the
yeah. Spacewalks would definitely be
RPG.
cool.
I've always kind of wanted to go on a spacewalk, but I've been too pussy to actually go through the whole training.
Yeah. But the last thing we wanted to talk about for Bethesda was Fallout 4 Special Edition. This isn't really something that many people have talked about. I actually heard Maddie mention it in his video about a possible Fallout 4 Special Edition after, Skyrim Special Edition and how successful that was. And I
Yeah,
think,
but Skyrim Special Edition, they already had like Game of the Year Edition come out on previous consoles. The only reason why it was Special Edition because it came out on next gen. So I
and
wouldn't
of
say
course it had
Special Edition.
mods.
I'd say yeah. I wouldn't call it a Special Edition. I'd more just called it a Game of the Year Edition, which I think they've already come out with.
Yeah, Fallout 4 wasn't Game of the Year. I mean, it was close. Like it was ass close. It was very close to Game of the Year. I don't think there was like Black Ops and FIFA, but other than that, Fallout 4 was not Game of the Year. So if they were to come out with some kind of special edition, I think it would be called Special Edition, not just because it's a special edition, but because of special in Fallout. That's
I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. They really haven't done that.
it's
But
possible. It's
I'd
probably not
more
gonna
say that
happen.
it was I'd probably say it's more of just like in a deluxe edition or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Probably gonna
probably not
sell
going to
for a pretty
happen, but
goddamn good price though, considering Fallout 4 and all its DLCs are overpriced. That's just my opinion.
yeah, since people really haven't been talking about it much, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but that's just a thought that we have because Fallout 4 was so damn successful. And if they were to do a special edition that comes with all the DLCs, of course, I think that would be a pretty good thing because we wouldn't have to, buy all the DLCs separately or buy the season pass. We could just get the game in one piece and really just have it work that way. But now moving on from Bethesda, we're going to be going on to Ubisoft, Rockstar, Activision, and Bungie. Those are some other companies that we'd like to see some games from.
And Microsoft and 343.
Yeah, yeah. But from Ubisoft, a new Assassin's Creed game has actually been announced, Assassin's Creed Origins, and it's actually being...
Uh, it's been teased quite a bit in the past, actually. So
I think it's actually been announced. I mean,
yeah, it was actually announced a while ago, and it was teased a lot. Like they're releasing pictures and all that stuff. That was a year ago.
Yeah.
And they're gonna call it Identity, or no, I think that's that's the app or whatever, the app game. But they're gonna call it I think Egypt, and now they're calling it what are they calling it?
Assassin's
Origins.
Creed Origins, yeah.
But that's just kind of...
Yeah, but Assassin's Creed Origins is actually being compared to Skyrim, which I was actually quite surprised about. Assassin's Creed games have been open world in the past, but one being compared to Skyrim is actually quite unique.
I don't think it should be compared to Skyrim, though. I mean, Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't... I don't know why people are doing that. You usually compare two games after they've been released, right? Because when you say like, oh, it's gonna be just like Skyrim, then when it comes out, it's nothing like Skyrim. People are gonna like, what the fuck, man? Like, I bought this because I thought it was gonna be in Skyrim, but no, it's just Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be set in Egypt, and being compared to Skyrim, I think that's quite strange. I don't know if it's going to have like as much, world space as Skyrim, or if it's going to just feel like Skyrim. I'm not sure, but we'll see at E3.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite strange. I'd say it's just overdoing it a bit.
Yeah, it's just I think it's strange because, like I said, Assassin's Creed games have been open world in the past, but we don't know if they're talking about like the amount of stuff that Skyrim had because people have put hundreds upon hundreds of hours, even thousands, and they still haven't completed everything, especially not even counting mods. And for an Assassin's Creed game to be compared to Skyrim, we just have to see about that when the game is announced at E3 and we see more of the game and when it actually comes out.
Well, have you played any Assassin's Creed games?
I don't think so.
I'm sure you probably played Black Flag. Everybody has.
I can't count myself as one of those people. Sadly.
Alright, well, so people who are listening to this or watching it, if you've played Assassin's Creed, you'd know it's nothing like Skyrim. Like, the game is more linear in story quest. Skyrim, you had different options to choose, you had different little ways to take your missions and all that, but in Assassin's Creed, it's like, hey, go... Well, I mean, Assassin's Creed, it did have different ways to approach, but at the end, it was still pretty linear, because it was always kind of the same thing. You had to sneak around, kill some guards. Sometimes you couldn't kill guards, and then you just had to kill your target, right? Skyrim, it's like, oh, you have to go into this dungeon. You have to explore the dungeon a bit, find a key. Once you get that key, you have to go back to this guy. And then you will have a choice. Like, do you give the key to the guy, or do you sell the key for a profit? Assassin's Creed, it's always like, oh, just kill the guy, or go find this, or,
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they're gonna compare it mostly to what Skyrim... mostly Skyrim's map and possibly side quests or what it had to offer. Not the missions, but I have to say map size or exploration or something like that. Because Egypt actually is a pretty big goddamn place.
Yeah, it's mostly desert. There are some cities, but a game actually being compared to Skyrim, especially Assassin's Creed, it clearly shows that how much of an impact Skyrim had on the gaming world, just because it's been actually mimicked by other companies. It's been compared to other games before, and it just shows how much of an impact Skyrim had on the community.
I wouldn't say it was mimicked.
Well, there
Because
have been
mimicking something is just taking it and giving it a different skin and then calling it different
Well,
names
that's not
and adding
exactly what
some
I
new
mean.
features.
I mean, like, there's been
So you
people.
mean they took inspiration from it? Mimic is like you basically rip it from what it was, change the name, add a couple features, change the graphics, and
Well, that's not
you got
really what I
yourself.
mean by that. By mimic, I mean more like companies have gotten tons of inspiration from Skyrim and put that into their own game. That's kind of what I mean by mimic. I don't mean like copy and paste type of shit, um,
Okay.
but talking about more about Ubisoft, one thing I'm very excited for is Far Cry 5. Um, we had Far Cry Primal, but that was like New Vegas. That was just more of a kind of a it was kind of a Far Cry
It's
4.5
kind of
almost.
I wouldn't even call it a Far Cry game
Why not?
because okay, so it ran on the same engine.
Yeah.
Okay? You played Far Cry 4? You played Far Cry 3, right?
Yes.
Far Cry really all it does takes place in some sort of like country
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have government and
Mm-hmm.
is full of corrupt individuals and villagers and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take down the big boss, and you have like AK-47s. And what Far Cry Primal was, it's basically just caveman RPG.
Well, I
And
think they
even at
wanted
that,
to.
like if you've played Far Cry, like okay, I wouldn't consider it a Far Cry game. I consider it just a caveman game with the name Far Cry on it.
Well.
I call it Casey Neistat Simulator. But
Yeah, I think they decided to go with like a Stone Age type of thing, just because they wanted to change the series up a little bit. Because, like you said, the
but
game's always taking place in a corrupt area where there's no
yeah,
government.
but they've always kind of mixed it up because Far Cry 4 was actually quite different from Far Cry 3, right? Because Far Cry 3 was tropical, Far Cry 4 was more mountainous, mountain areas, and actually you had different ways to approach missions. It also added the Himalayas or whatever, and you had to like kind of manage your oxygen through there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Far Cry Primal, all it did was kind of took Far Cry 4's Himalayas, changed it up a tad bit, and then you can tame animals, spear people, and it's just basically all it is just an animal Casey Neistat game that has Far Cry on it. It's really not a Far Cry game. It's more of just like something else. Because if you compare Far Cry 2, Far Cry 1, 2, 3, 4, and you compare them all to Far Cry Primal, you'll notice that Far Cry Primal is definitely way more different than the original Far Cry, right? Or the older ones, I should say.
Yeah, I actually heard a rumor that Far Cry 5 is going to take place in the West, like I don't know if they mean by the Wild West in the U.S. or if they mean a Western game.
Everything has to take place in the U.S.
Yeah,
Bad U.S. of A.
yeah, I'm not sure if there's ever been a Far Cry in the U.S. I've only played I played like a little fraction of 3 and then I beat 4, so I'm not sure if there ever was a Far Cry in the U.S. But I heard a rumor that it's going to take place in the West, so we'll see about that. But
No, it wouldn't, because Far Cry, think about it, it's always take place in like Africa or someplace that doesn't have a good government, corrupt ass government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not going to take place in the U.S.
I was actually thinking, and I think I saw this somewhere else, that the new Far Cry would actually be like a futuristic type of thing, kind of like
Blood Dragon.
yeah, Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon was kind of trash.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played Blood Dragon, but I heard it was like a futuristic.
It was alright, but I mean, I wouldn't consider it good. Like, I wouldn't like spend a ton of money on it if it had DLC. I'd probably like spend $1 on it, and that's just for the game itself.
Okay, yeah. So at Ubisoft E3, there's probably a ton of other stuff that we're gonna want to see. But moving on to Rockstar, specifically.
Actually, can we revert back to Ubisoft for a quickie?
Oh yeah, I can do a quickie for Ubisoft, whatever you want to do. And then
Alright,
move on to Rockstar.
so I kind of wanted to discuss For Honor for a second, just a little quickie about the Season 2 that just came out. Like, people, if you're watching this on YouTube's or your SoundCloudies, Comment, like, what do you think about the new season 2? I think it's kind of bullshit how they're forcing you to wait 6 more days to play these new characters.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gay. Like, I waited. I was kind of happy. I was like, oh, hey, you know, play this fucking Roman guy, and then I can also play as a ninja. And then no, like, fuck you. You have to wait 6 more days, and even that they're making you pay like 1,500 coins for it or something like that.
Yeah. I have For Honor, but I didn't play much. I actually kind of enjoyed the game, but my brother actually got it, and we played like a few matches together, and I kind of enjoyed it. The fighting's pretty damn good.
What the shit, dog? Like, why do you only play Bethesda's
I
games?
don't only play Bethesda. I like grew up on Call of Duty and GTA, but
Oh,
my
that's sad, man. I grew up on that Fable shit, you know, Fable. I grew up on Fable.
that's
I
kind
grew
of how
up
I
on.
feel about Camel. If you don't watch Camel, like the only games he plays are Bethesda games. Like if you ask him if he's played like any other game, he'll probably say no. Because I've I've seen his Q&As, and he's been asked questions about different games, and I'm like, dude, how have you not played that game before? So yeah, that's kind of how I am. But I do play a variety of games. It's not just Bethesda, because I got into
But
Bethesda
the
like 5 or 6
only,
years ago.
I bet, I bet the only non-Bethesda game you've ever played was probably Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Okay,
How?
but can we continue on to Rockstar?
Yeah,
And before I thought you were gonna say, how is Minecraft not a Bethesda game?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that.
How is Minecraft not a Bethesda game?
Yeah. But moving on to Rockstar, specifically Red Dead Redemption 2. When I saw this, I was like, I was like, holy shit. So, but what we got from Rockstar was specifically for like an announcement for the game. It was a joke, honestly. They really didn't show us much. They just showed us
It
some like,
wasn't a joke because it's like calling your birth a joke. It's not really a joke. It's
well,
more of just kind of a big like, hey, because you know what? It's a fucking teaser, man. Like, what do you
yeah,
expect? They're
it's
gonna
a
show gameplay. They're gonna show like they're gonna show like full fledged like 15-minute footage. No, man. They're gonna show like a couple seconds,
yeah. I mean, I
bit
get
of the
that, but they didn't.
landscape and stuff because you know, do you like that? They did the same thing with Fallout 4, man. Like they showed the landscape, they showed some of the characters and
Yeah,
all
but
that, right?
Fallout 4 was actually like a decent trailer. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, they just showed us some shots of the landscape, and that was it. A guy on a
No, they
horse or
showed us.
something.
Did you watch all of it? They showed us like a whole group of badasses with your horses and
Yeah, I
shit.
watched it. I was like, what
Yeah,
the
they
hell is
showed us a
this?
bit more stuff. Like, yeah, obviously you can tell they probably added policies. If you have you ever even played the first one?
Yes, I did.
Okay, they probably added policies. If you ever played the multiplayer, they probably added policies or like a group, possible co-op, or even just like creating your own gang. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
like on the
you
front
know, I'm
cover.
I'm kind of confused on how this game's gonna turn out. Is it a sequel? Is it a prequel?
Yeah, like that's what I don't understand. Like, uh, John Marston died in the first one,
Oh,
and
you fucking! Oh my God!
what? Everyone
You didn't
knows.
say you didn't say spoilers.
Everyone knows. Everyone's
Come
played Red Dead
on,
Redemption.
not everyone. Like, what
Well,
if like some 10-year-old kid who's like 5 right now and he's like, "Oh, I want to play Red Dead Redemption," and then he watches this and
fine.
like,
I'll edit spoiler alert on the screen before I said anything about him dying. But I either think that it's gonna be like a prequel where he's still alive, or it's gonna be a sequel where his son is the one, you know, as you're playing as.
yeah, and then he's probably gonna die and then gets replaced by his kid. It's like the whole big family tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so I want to discuss this. It's a possible something to do with Grand Theft Auto or a online giant online update because we know they've been really hyping up like online. That's probably their baby right now.
Mm-hmm.
So of
It's
course
been their baby for years. I mean, GTA 5 is still $60. I mean, it's ridiculous.
yeah. And I it's kind of funny. I keep installing GTA 5 and I keep uninstalling it, installing it, uninstalling it, installing it. It takes too much space for how much I play it.
Yeah, you can find a pretty good like deal on it on G2A or any type of spring sale or whatever. But
Or you can just pirate it. I mean, so it's not.
pirated games are ass. Like I pirated Fallout New Vegas and it didn't work correctly.
Haha, you didn't do correctly. Okay, I pirated. Let me check here. Let me open this folder. Games and mod. I've pirated GTA San Andreas, Fable Lost Chapters, Halo Tri, or just Halo. That wasn't really pirated. SWAT 4, and that's about it.
All right, so you got anything else to say about Rockstar? Or can we move on?
I like the energy drink.
Yeah, Rockstar.
All right.
I prefer Monster. I love Monster. That's the shit.
I've never really had energy drinks. I'm more of a Red Bull guy myself.
On my shelf right now, I got six Monster cans.
Oh my god, I forgot this. Just a quickie back to Ubisoft.
Again?
New Ghost Recon DLC or something to do with Assassin's Creed. But mostly probably something to do with Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I saw a live. Let me tell you a secret. I saw Maddie's live stream.
I don't really enjoy Maddie B raps.
Yeah, Maddie B raps. He's a. I don't want to put my opinions out there. People might hate on me, but I saw his live stream playing Wildlands, and personally, it looked like a good game. It kind of reminded me of Future Soldier. I played a lot of that game, and I got pretty far in it. And it kind of reminded me of that, but the only thing was like you couldn't really go off the boundaries. If you like go in the water for like 10 seconds, it'll say you died and you failed the mission because you didn't stay on the boundaries.
Huh?
What?
Are you sure you sure you were watching the thing you're thinking of?
Yeah, I was watching it, and like even Maddie was pissed. He's like, what is this? And it was a decent looking game, and I probably would get it, but it's just like the boundaries. It's just the invisible walls. I think there was invisible walls, but if you went past the boundaries, you would just instantly be wiped from the mission. Like he got in a car.
That's probably what fucking happens in the game. You follow who? You hit those invisible walls.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad. Of course. What does he expect? Like with his big ass fucking mouth and his mullet. What the fuck does he expect? Like his mouth takes up most of his brain space. Like, what do you expect when you go to a map? Of course you're gonna die or something. Like, what the fuck, man? How brain dead are you?
Yeah. He's actually cut off his mullet. He has short hair now, so
sure.
Deal with it.
Oh, but his mouth's still giant.
Yeah, I don't know. I watch Maddie quite a bit. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but we all got our opinions on people. But
Look,
you got any more quickies for Ubisoft, or can we move on?
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's 4 already with his little fucking Todd Howard fetish here. 5.
All right. So, moving on to Activision and Bungie. So, I want to start off with Destiny 2 right off the bat, just because I wanted to share my opinions about that, and I even made a video about it. If you want to see that, I'll link it in the description. But Destiny 2, now this is kind of an interesting one, because Destiny 2, number one, it looks like it's going to take place kind of in a fallen city type of thing. It looks like the Cabal have taken over, and the tower has fallen, and now it looks like we're going to be on the ground, I'm guessing. I kind of hated how Destiny, it made the city look more like a backdrop or like a wallpaper rather than an actual city, and I think it's pretty cool that we might actually be able to be going down there, because it looks like the tower has been destroyed by the Cabal.
Yeah, that sounds neato.
And the reason I think it's Cabal is because, number one, the ships that we saw in the trailer, and because the limited edition and the special editions of the game actually are Cabal related, Cabal collectibles and stuff. So I can be like 99% sure we're going to see the Cabal as the main enemy in Destiny 2. But another thing I wanted to say about Destiny 2 is it doesn't really seem like people really give a shit, because like I'm kind of talking for my own sake here, but I posted that video and it didn't really get too many views. And I'm not really just talking about myself. I'm talking about other YouTubers. There was a lot of people that posted videos about Destiny 2, and of course the trailer got like over 10 million views. But it just didn't seem like people really cared, because the view count on lots of videos I was seeing were just horrendous for a new game that was just announced, a new Destiny game.
but you know what? People are kind of fed up with Destiny already. They overhyped the game to start off with, and not to mention they they just they overhyped it, and they kind of they forced you to pay for DLC. And if
Yeah,
that happens
exactly.
again, they're not gonna have too many people liking them anymore.
Mhm. But yeah, Destiny 2, I'm personally excited for. I like to see Bungie try again with Destiny 2 and make it something better than what Destiny actually was. I can't really call myself a Destiny veteran, but I have been playing for quite a
You
while.
can't be a fucking veteran on it.
Yeah, I can't call myself a veteran just because I barely played any raids. I even
Nobody can be a veteran in that because in order to be a veteran, there has to be 2 or 3 games.
well, you can be a veteran at one game. I mean, it doesn't have to be an entire series.
Well, I mean, you can, I guess, but I mean, it'd be more suitable to say you're a veteran when you've been there for the first 2 games, and then I'd really say you're an expert at it because you've been there since day one.
Yeah, I've been playing Destiny for a while now, and I know quite a lot about it. And I think Destiny 2 will probably be Bungie's chance to start over and try again with Destiny, and hopefully
Um,
people.
what people tend to forget about is actually Treyarch was there too.
Yeah, I
I
didn't. I didn't actually
first.
know Treyarch was involved with Destiny. I thought it was just Activision.
Oh shit, I think it was Activision. Never mind. Sorry, I get those 2 faggots mixed up. 28,
But
29, 30.
yeah, Destiny 2, I'm personally excited for. Hopefully, they can make it a good game and much better than Destiny 2. Not forcing us to buy DLC. I absolutely despised that.
Yeah.
But moving on, Halo 6 is rumored. I guess it wasn't. There really isn't much on Halo 6, but
Hopefully that kind of.
it's a
I'm an
possibility.
Xbox fanboy. I can say. No, I play Xbox, right? And I played all the Halos. I played the remastered of all of them. I wouldn't say I beat them all. But honestly, I've kind of played enough of it to think, hey, Halo 5 is kind of trash. So I kind of do hope Halo 6 returns to its roots, because Halo 6 is rumored to be the final Halo game. And if it is, then I do hope that they return back to their roots with Master Chief and all that trash.
All that trash.
Yeah.
All right. Well, wrapping up the podcast, we're going to be talking about just a little bit about World War II, since that was announced, and
Also, just a little quickie for you. Mass Effect Andromeda is probably a possible new Mass Effect Andromeda DLC, because if you've beaten Mass Effect Andromeda, I don't know. Did I even mention this?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
maybe I don't know. Mass Effect Andromeda new DLC, because if you've beaten it, you actually do get a little secret cutscene at the end, and or possible a new Dragon Age game, because the last Dragon Age game came out in 2014, so that's a bit ago. So I'd like to see a new one, especially considering a lot of games like to use engines from their previous ones, right?
Yeah, like Bethesda.
So really, I think the new Dragon Age game is going to be on the same engine as Mass Effect. So really, that kind of cuts them down for a couple of years, right? A couple of years of development. So I think they're going to use that engine.
Mm-hmm.
And also, for PlayStation fans out there, if you're an Infamous fan, I'm sure you know what Infamous is. A possible new Infamous game, because we haven't really heard too much of Infamous or Sucker Punch at all, right? Those are the guys who made Infamous. And we haven't really heard of them too much, so I'd kind of like to see
a new
something
Infamous.
related to that. Yeah, a new Infamous game.
Yeah, I played a little bit.
That'd really get me back into PlayStation.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Infamous too. It seemed pretty damn cool. And a little quickie for you.
Hey.
Well, I played Dragon Age Origins, just a little snippet of it, and it was kind of the same experience with Oblivion. I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I kind of get that feeling with all the games that kind of came out around that time, 2010 from 2010 and a bit earlier, when when Oblivion and Dragon Age came out and stuff. You kind of get the same feeling for all those games, right? Because they've all kind of felt similar. They're all kind of the way, or they're all kind of that way. So, really, I've kind of felt that way, and honestly, I'm kind of getting back into Oblivion, which is my possible
I hated
favorite.
Oblivion. I did not like it. I maybe I might get back into it in the future.
It's kind of well, you know what though? If you're coming from Skyrim, it is
Yeah,
kind
if
of
you're coming from
tricky
Skyrim, it's very
because when
uncomfortable.
I first played it, I was coming from Skyrim, and it was kind of like wow. Like I only played it when I was like 12. So, like 2 years later, I'm like, hey, you can get it on discount for $20, and like you can buy it for like $4 over at Epic Games. We don't have GameStops here, I don't think. But what happened? Like I just kind of went into the store and there was on sale for $20, and it had all the DLC with it. So I was like, you know what? Might as well pick it up and give her a play. And it's actually kind of fun because when I was 12, I was like, oh fuck this! I just want to play the fucking game, and I didn't learn anything, right? And now I like to take my time and kind of read and learn instructions and learn how to play the game properly. And you know what? Once you take your time to learn it, it's actually kind of fun game.
Yeah, Oblivion, I came from Skyrim, so Oblivion to me kind of felt like which it is. It's a cut down, scissored down Skyrim. The combat was really stiff, and it just felt because it's an
But
older
you
game.
gotta you gotta remember though that came out in 2008. Skyrim came out in 2011.
Well, Oblivion actually came out in 2006.
Yeah, exactamundo. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you gotta admit, okay, this is what I kind of hate about people always like, oh, Oblivion's combat was so fucking stupid. Well, it came out in 2006. At the time, Oblivion was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, think about it.
It
At
was
the
Game of
time,
the Year.
Oblivion was like, okay, you know what? At the time, it won a couple Game of the Years, actually. It won a ton of rewards.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what? At the time, that was the Skyrim. Like, we have Skyrim now, right? That's still, like, one of the greatest games to ever, like, come out. And back then, before Skyrim was even announced, Oblivion was, like, Skyrim to us now, right? So you gotta remember, like, that was awesome when it came out. And
And it
sure,
was
like, you know what? That'd be cool, like, just thinking about it, it's like, wow.
It was really the same thing with Morrowind too. When that came out, it was an amazing game.
Yeah.
It was nothing compared to
You
Oblivion
know what?
now.
I don't think Bethesda has really gone wrong with their Elder Scrolls or Fallout games. Besides Fallout 4, Fallout 4 was a good game, but near the end, it's kind of like, you know what? They could have done so much better. You compare it to Fallout 3, it could have done so much better.
Yeah, Fallout 4, it kind of drifted off. Like you could play a completely different person the next time you play, but you're always going to end up doing the same exact shit, like blowing up the Institute or going with the Institute. It's really those two choices.
And especially like when you Fallout 4's story mission, you can tell they didn't focus on it because Fallout 4's story mission, all it really is just Fallout 3's story mission backwards. Like instead of you having to find your dad, you're finding your son.
Yeah, definitely. There's been these like stupid theories, like is Father really your son, or is Father the lone, or is Deacon the lone wanderer from Fallout 3? I mean, there's been really stupid theories, but I don't know. But moving on to World War II, this is kind of going to wrap up the podcast. We did get quite a bit from World War II, unlike Red Dead Redemption 2. We got quite a bit from it, and I think it's going to be a good game. They said they're going to try to make this the best World War II experience in a game that has ever been created, which seems seems a bit overhyped.
I've kind of lost all my respect for Call of Duty with the whole futuristic shit. But if they do happen to if they do happen to make it all right, well, they made previous They made previous like games set in World War II, right? And they've all captioned that pretty well. So it's like, if they don't get this right, they've definitely lost everything.
Yeah, they're going to lose their fans if they don't get World War II right. But like I said, I think it's going to be a decent game. I think it's going to capture World War II very well. And hopefully they do a good job on it. Hopefully they show us quite a bit more at E3 on World War II.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's going to wrap up the podcast. Sorry, I might make some cuts in this podcast. I'm going to try to keep the future podcasts as uncut as possible. And they're definitely going to improve in the future because we are very new to podcasts. This is our first one. So we're not the best at them, but we're going to improve. And, yeah, I guess this will wrap it up. Hope to see you guys in the next video, and see you later. So yeah, I know that was kind of a cheesy podcast, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. And like I said, they're going to improve in the future, and I'm going to try to keep them as uncut and high quality and mature as possible. But I have some bloopers here for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Yeah, I don't know.
10 things you must know about Mass Effect Andromeda. 6.
Okay, can we move on now? I really want to.
Alright, yeah.
I really want to share my thoughts on other companies. And oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'll just cut it right here. I gotta think. I forget things really easily.
Okay.
What was it again? What was I gonna talk about after that?
Well, retrace your steps.
Retrace my steps. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So I talked about how we're new to podcasts, and then what was it? Damn it! I talked about the second thing. Let's just get on with the podcast. I think I talked about everything I needed to talk about.
Yeah, you did.
Wait, that wasn't a couple minutes. That was like a minute. All right, whatever.